morning, warriors. So we were in rates of taxes, correct? I gave you a homework for yesterday. Can you help me with this answer? Check if MR is applicable for 58 lakhs. Is MR applicable? No, MR is not applicable. Why is MR not applicable? Let's quickly check. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the same steps. We're going to follow step number 1, which is computing tax on 58 lakhs. We're going to compute tax on 58 lakhs. How do you compute tax, Rahul? I'm going to say for the first, very good, for the first 10 lakhs, it is 1,12,500. For the balance, 48 lakhs at the rate of 30%. Number is 14 lakh 40,000. 40,000. Okay, great. 14 lakh 40,000. Total the number 52,500. Since you have completed till this step, you will ask yourself whether you are rich, poor, or middle class. You are tended to be a rich person. Therefore, you'll have to add surcharge at the rate of 10%. Number is 155250. Yes, total will become 1707,750. 1707,750. Now that you have come till this stage, we'll have to take a pause and we'll have to go to the right side. Right side, we'll again compute tax for 50 lakhs. We'll again compute tax for 50 lakhs. I think we have the number on the top already. Yes, the number on the top is 13,12,500. So I'm just directly going to put this number 13,12,500. Step number 3 is what? You'll have to check for the difference in income. Difference in income is 8 lakhs. Difference in income is 8 lakhs. Difference in taxes 3,95,250. 250. Now, if you notice, I have earned an extra income of 8 lakhs and department is asking me extra tax of 3,95,280. Is it within limits, without limits? It is within limits. If it is within limits, do you think department will give you marginal relief? No. Therefore, marginal relief is 0. Marginal relief is 0. You will directly get your number as 17,07,750. On this, you will add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Number will become 17,07,750. All right, total taxes. Mm. 17,76,060. This is what will become your final tax payable. This is what will become your final tax payable. Yes or no? Yes or no? In simple words, if you notice, margin relief is not applicable every time. Margin relief is not applicable every time. It is only applicable in case where you find out that your difference in tax is going to become more than your difference in income. How do you do this, Rahul? Step number 1, compute tax for the actual income. Compute tax for actual income. Step number 2, compute tax for the nearest slab. You have to compute tax for nearest slab. From 58 lakhs, nearest is 50 lakhs. For 1 crore, 1 lakh, nearest will be 1 crore. Andamari. Yes, you have to compute tax for nearest slab. And then check for the difference in income, difference in tax. If you end up paying more tax than the income, you will not be liable for that much extra tax. You can claim marginal relief. You can claim marginal relief, ending up in a final tax payable. Ending up in a final tax payable. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, in this, the one thing which is to be kept in mind, both at the rebate scenario and the surcharge scenario, is the cess which you have. The cess which you have should always be done after you are done with your rebate and after you are done with the surcharge and marginal relief. Okay, cess will not come before marginal relief, cess will come after marginal relief, which means if you technically notice the above question, where we had an income of 58 lakhs and a tax of 58 lakhs, you will notice that we ended up giving a relief of 64,250. We ended up giving a 64,250, or if you come to the right side, I surrendered how much? 1 lakh. I surrendered 1 lakh, and on the 1 lakh மேல கூட cess வந்துச்சு. We had to put cess on that 1 lakh also, which means what happened? You technically had to pay more than the 1 lakh also. You technically had to pay more than the 1 lakh also. We have not completed the previous question. If you notice in the previous question, we still have to add cess. We still have to add cess. And if you end up adding cess, what will happen? No, technically, you will end up paying cess on that 1 lakh also, which means you may end up paying more than the income. You may end up paying more than the income. If you have earned 1 lakh of income, they're asking you cess also on that. So 1,04,000 is what you will pay. You will still pay extra. You will still pay extra. But department comes and says cess should always be computed after relief. Cess should always be computed after relief. Don't give a cess before relief. Don't give cess before relief. You may end up saving for the government. You may end up saving for the assessee, but that will not be the right provision. That will not be the right provision. Margin relief will come before cess. Margin relief will come before cess. Clearer? Clearer? Yes, yes. These are your concepts of your old regime. These are your concepts of your old regime. From yesterday's class, we decided what happens if you are normal category citizen with a slab rate. Then we decided what happens if you are a poor person claiming rebate. And then what happens if you are a rich person liable for surcharge. Rich person liable for surcharge with an extra question of marginal relief. With an extra question of marginal relief. Clear till here? Can we go forward? Yes? Yes. Okay. Now, this is what is the tax rate for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. This is what is the tax rate for individual HUF, AOP, BOI and AJP. But what happened is back in 2021, there was this huge flare where income tax was, giving various regimes. Income tax was giving various regimes. In 2020, what had happened is income tax had given a big regime change for companies, where they had reduced the tax rates, basis which what happened is in 2021, we went to the government and we came and said, dear sir, you're giving such good, nice regimes and all for company, why are you not giving it for individuals? So therefore, in 2021, they had introduced one new regime. 115 BAC Sultan. What is the section name called as? It is called as 115 BAC. It was called as 115 BAC. This was introduced in 2021. But what happened is the regime was very badly made. They did not give any good benefits and all. Okay, the rates were very less. The benefit was comparatively very lower, and so people were opting for the normal regime. 2 years over, 2023 income tax came and said, sir, 115 BAC is not becoming famous. 115 BAC is not becoming famous. Let's try to make it a little famous. So what happened is this year in your Finance Act, the whole regime was changed. You now have new rates. Everything is changed. So therefore, this is for the current year and amendment. This for the current year is an amendment. I will tell you the relevant pages where you have to mark it down. Right now, this is just notice. I will tell you the whole page where you have to color everything off. Okay. Right now, 115 BAC has become an amendment for you. Rahul, what is the amendment? First amendment, they came and said, Rahul, this will be applicable for. Earlier, it was being applicable only for individuals. Now, it is applicable for all. So, which means individuals, HUF, AOP, BOI and AJP. Yes, earlier it was applicable only for individual and HUF. Now it is applicable for individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Everyone it is applicable for. This was one. Second, they came and said, Rahul, I am also changing the rates of taxes. They told I will change the whole rates itself. What did they change, Rahul? You have the slab rate model. Yes, for your normal regime, what is the slab rate? Up to 2.5 lakhs, 0, 2.525. Yes, here they came and said, Rahul, for the first 3 lakhs. What lakhs? 3 lakhs, it is 0. Then from 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it is 5%. Then 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs, it is 10%. If you notice what is happening, your income is increasing by 3 lakhs, your tax is increasing by 5 lakhs. Keep that logic. Tell me forward. Next. 9 lakhs to 12 lakhs. How much? 15%. Then 12 lakh to 15 lakhs. 20%. Then after 15 lakhs, they stopped at 15 lakhs. They stopped at 15 lakhs. They said after 15 lakhs, directly 30%. After 15 lakhs, directly 30%. If you notice, one rate is missing, which is 25. One rate is missing, which is 25. Why, Rahul? Actually, last year, Variko, it was not first 3 lakhs, it was first 2.5 lakhs. It was first 2.5 lakhs. So it was 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. This time they came and said, since we are removing 50,000 from each slab, since we are removing 50,000 from each slab, the 25% rate is not applicable anymore. They removed the 25%. They removed the 25%. This is your new slabs. This is your new slabs. What is the new slabs? For the first 3 lakhs, it is 0. 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, 5%. 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs, 10%. 9 lakhs to 12 lakhs, 15%. 12 lakhs to 15 lakhs, 20%. Anything above 15 lakhs, 30%. Anything above 15 lakhs, 30%. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what your new rates are. This is what your new rates are. If I have to compute tax, you will notice tax for the first one is 0. Next to 3 lakhs, 5%, which means it will become 15,000. Then it will become 30,000. Then it will become 45,000. Then it will become 60,000. Then it will become 60,000. Add the numbers. Add the numbers. It should be 1,50,000. Yes, yes, which means in the new regime, for the first 15 lakhs, you will only pay 1,50,000. For the first 15 lakhs, you will pay 1,50,000. After that, you will pay 30% rate. After that, you will pay 30% rate. In the normal regime, what will happen? For the first 10 lakhs, you will pay 1,12,500. Here, for the first 15 lakhs, you will pay 1,50,000. You will pay 1,50,000. This is what is called as your new tax regime. What is it called as? New tax regime. Yes or no? Yes. Now I told you, whenever you talk about new tax regime, there are 3 categories of people. This is your middle class category. This is your middle class category. So therefore, for your middle class category, yes, if you are completed a middle class category, next category is rebate, a poor category. Next category is poor category. If you are poor, what will you get, ma? You'll get a rebate. Very good. You'll get a rebate. Now, in this rebate, they came and said, again, it is applicable only for, who is rebate applicable for? It is applicable only for resident individuals. It is applicable only for resident individuals. In the old regime, it was applicable for resident individuals having a total income of 5 lakhs. Here it is resident individual having a total income of 7 lakhs. How much lakhs? 7 lakhs. It is resident individual having a total income of 7 lakhs. I told you, if you are looking at an income, you will check how much is the tax up to that limit. Up to that limit. For the first 3 lakhs, it was 0. 3 lakh to 6 lakhs, it is 15,000. Then next, how many lakhs? 1 more lakh. 1 more lakh. Check, no? You want to tax on 7 lakhs. How much is the tax on 7 lakhs? What will it be? For the first 3 lakhs, it will be 0. Then 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it will be 15,000. Balance is how much? 1 lakh at the rate of 10%. Number will be 10,000. Therefore, total is 25,000. In simple words, I will now get a rebate of 25,000 or actual tax, whichever is lower. Very good. Whichever is lower. Yes, yes. So if you are in old regime, you will get a rebate if you are having an income up to 5 lakhs. If you are in new regime, you will have an income up to 7 lakhs. In old regime, rebate amount is 12,500. In new regime, it is 25,000. In new regime, it is 25,000. Yes or no? Yes or no? And the same logic will apply. Rebate is not eligible on LTCG under section 112A. It is not applicable on LTCC under section 112A. Yes or no? Yes or no? There is one extra addition this year. There is one extra addition this year. If you notice, when we did this regime, old regime, in the old regime, if you notice rebate, I came and told you that you will get a rebate of 12,500 or actual tax, whichever is lower, provided your income is 5 lakhs. Provided income is 5 lakhs. Assuming your income is 5 lakh 10 rupees, are you eligible for rebate? Assuming your income is 5 lakh 10 rupees, are you eligible for rebate? No, you're not eligible for rebate. But if you notice what has happened, how much is your income increased? 10 rupees. If your income is increased 10 rupees, you are losing 12,500. Yes or no? You're losing the whole 12,500. So for earning extra 10 rupees, they're asking you to pay 12,500. Justified, not justified? Justified, not justified? Not justified. Therefore, they came and said, in new regime alone, I will introduce this new concept of marginal rebate. They introduced this new concept of marginal rebate. Rahul, what is this marginal rebate? It is same like marginal relief. It is same like marginal relief. Appadina enna arthu Rahul? Let's assume your income is 7 lakh 1,000. How much is your income? 7 lakh 1,000. What will you do? First compute tax on 7 lakh 1,000. How will you compute, Rahul? For the first 3 lakhs, it is 0. Then 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it is 15,000. Then 1 lakh 1,000 at the rate of number 100. 10,100. Number is 26,100. Yes, no. Number is 26,100. 25,100, sorry. Number is 25,100. Yes. Assuming your income was 7 lakhs. Assuming your income was 7 lakhs. Your tax would have been 0. Why, Rahul? You would have got rebate. You would have got rebate. Your tax here would have been 25,000. Minus rebate will be 25,000. Therefore, your tax is 0. Therefore, your tax is 0. Now, notice how much is your increase in income? Your increase in income is 1,000. But your increase in tax is 25,100. Your increase in taxes 25,100. Rahul, for earning extra 1,000 rupees, will I like to pay 25,100? No, I will tell the government, you do one thing, you keep 1,000. You keep 1,000. I will not pay you anything extra. I will not pay you anything extra. So if I am going to surrender 1,000, I will get a relief of 24,100. Yes or no? I am going to surrender 1,000, so I am going to get a relief of 24,100, which means my tax payable will become 1,000. My tax payable will become 1,000. On this, I will add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Number will become 40. Therefore, it will become 1,040. Therefore, it will become 1,040. This is called as marginal rebate. This is called as marginal rebate. Same concept as marginal relief. Same concept as marginal relief. The only thing to remember is marginal rebate is only there for 115 BAC. It's only there for 115 BAC, which means, Rahul, my income is 5 lakh 1,000 in old regime. My income is 5 lakh 1,000 in old regime. Can I claim marginal rebate? No. You cannot claim marginal rebate. You can only claim marginal rebate in case you are opting for 115 BAC. You are opting for 115 BAC. Any doubts in this question? No? Let's do this question. It says, Mr. Nitin is aged 42 years and a resident in India, having a total income of 7 lakh 15,000. having a total income of 7,15,000, and his income is comprising of salary income and interest on bank deposits. Salary income and interest on bank deposits. Why are they telling this? Because everything is slab rate income. Everything is slab rate income. You are required to compute the tax for the assessment year 24-25 under the default regime. Now, what is default regime? We'll discuss under. Otherwise, they're saying compute it under 115 BAC. Compute it under 115 BAC. Can we do it together? Yes, on your books. On your books. We are doing question number 3, page number 2.3. Okay, we are in chapter number 2, special tax regime. Chapter number 2, special tax regime. In that chapter number 2, I am coming and saying we are doing question number 3. Question number 3. My preference, people, since I have given you one small solutions book with just the question numbers, with just the questions, if you can write the page number also on the side, it will be good for you. It will be good for you if you can write the page number, just so you know. Next time when you solve, you should know where this question is. Okay, so in your question bank, check where the page number is, check where the page number is, and put that page number off. I don't think I have the question bank. Okay, help me out with the page number, ma. Check chapter number 2, last question. Check chapter number 2, last question. Page number 3. Okay, so we are doing question number 3, page number 3. Yes, read the question along with me. It says what? You are Mr. Nitin, aged 42 years and a resident in India, having a total income of 7,15,000, comprising of salary and fixed deposit. Comprising of salary and fixed deposit. Yes, they are asking you to do it under 115 BAC. They are asking you to do under 115 BAC. So what will you do? Heading will always be called as computation of tax of Mr. who Nitin for the assessment year very good 24-25 for the assessment year 24-25. Now since they are using the word under section 115 BAC, you also have to clarify under section 115 BAC. You also will have to clarify under section 115 BAC. Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. What will you do first? Step number 1, compute tax on compute tax on 7,15,000. Compute tax on 7,15,000. How do you do this on the new regime? Up to 3 lakhs. Our number is 0. Then 3,001 to 6 lakhs at the rate of 5%. At the rate of 5%, number will become 15,000. Number will become 15,000. Then it is 6,001 to 7,15,000 at the rate of 10%. How much is the difference of income? It is 1,15,000. It is 1,15,000 at the rate of 10% will become 11,500. Correct? It will become 11,500. Put an underline. Number on the right side. Number will become 26,500. 26,500. With me till here? Yes. Leave some 4 lines. Leave some 4 lines. Step number 2. Compute tax on what? Compute tax on 7 lakhs. Compute tax on 7 lakhs. Taxes 0. Tax on 7 lakhs is 0 because rebate eligible. Since rebate is eligible. Can we go forward? Yes, step number 3. Step number 3. What is step number 3? Difference in tax. What is difference in tax? Step number 1, let tax was 26,500. Step number 2, let difference in tax is 0. So therefore, difference in tax will become 26,500. Step number 4, difference in income. Step number 4 is difference in income. If you notice, my income in the actual scenario was 7 lakh 15. My income in step number B is 7 lakhs. Therefore, my difference in income is 15,000. My difference in income is 15,000. Hey, I am earning extra 15,000. Government is asking extra 26,500. Do you think I'll give government 26,500? No, I will give government maximum 15,000. I'll give government maximum 15,000, which means marginal relief will be how much? It will be 11,500. Marginal relief will be 11,500. Will be 11,500. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Rahul, I am going to give now a marginal relief of 11,500. I'm going to give a margin relief of 11,500, ending up in my tax payable of 15,000. Ending up in a tax payable of 15,000. Rahul, how do I check if my answer is right? How do I check if my answer is right? I told you, what are you planning to do? You're planning to give away the extra income. You're planning to give away the extra income. How much extra did you earn? 7 lakhs. How much extra income did you earn from 7 lakhs? 15,000. So how much is the tax payable? 15,000. Ma chacha? Yes. So you're planning to give the whole extra income. Therefore, 15,000 will become an extra tax. 15,000 will become extra tax. Rahul, is the answer over? Is the answer over? No, you have to add cess. At the rate of 4%. 15,000 to 4% will become 600. Therefore, your total tax will become 15,600. Your total tax will become 15,600. Clear? 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 Yes. Rahul, in exam, will they come and tell you that you have to do marginal rebate? In exam, will they come and tell you that you have to do marginal rebate? No. They will not come and tell you they'll do marginal rebate. They will not come and tell you that you have to do rebate at all. They will summa come and say 7,15,000 is your income. It is your responsibility to compute the tax. It is your responsibility to compute the tax. Clear, not clear? At the same time, be extremely careful. You are not eligible for marginal rebate in case of old regime. In case of old regime, you are only applicable it for new regime. You are only applicable for it for new regime. Clear, not clear? Clear? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. Rahul, this was a scenario if you are poor. This was a scenario if you are poor. Next scenario, if you are, what are you? You are rich. Next scenario, if you are rich. Hey Rahul, some person is rich. What will you do? You will levy. You will levy surcharge. You will levy surcharge. Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, what is the surcharge rates? Same as the old one. Same as the old one. Help me out. Help me out. Income and then surcharge. What was it? Up to 50 lakhs. Very good. 0. More than 50 lakhs up to 1 crore. 10%. More than 1 crore up to 2 crores. 15%. Then more than 2 crores. Up to 5 crores was 25. After 5 crores was 37. The new regime, they came and said, Rahul, 37 ignored. 37 ignored, which means now you don't have any more 37, which means after 2 crores, everything becomes 25. After 2 crores, everything becomes 25, which means they removed off 37. They removed off 37, which means if you are very rich person, in old regime, you will pay 37. In new regime, you will pay 25. You will pay 25. They have removed what is called as 37%. They've removed what is called as 37%. At the same time, this 2 crores still is called as enhanced surcharge. This 2 crores still is called as enhanced surcharge. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, is margin relief still applicable? Yes, obviously. Margin relief is still applicable, which means you can still do margin reliefs. You can still do marginal reliefs. Purida, Purilia. Purida. Yes, yes. Last benefit, Rahul. In this, when I came and told you it is applicable for individual HF, AOP, BY, AJP, it is applicable for every person, whether he is resident or non-resident. Whether it is resident or non-resident. Rahul, I am a resident age 60 years. I am a resident age 60 years. Old regime, my slab will start from 3 lakhs. New regime, my slab will start from 3 lakhs. Rahul, I am a resident individual aged 80 years. Age 80 years. Old regime, my slab will start from 5 lakhs. Here it will start from 3 lakhs. Here it will start from 3 lakhs, which means no age criteria. No age criteria. No matter who you are, this is what your range is. No matter who you are, this is what your range is. They will not change the range for you. They will not change the range for you. You have to follow the same range. You have to follow the same range. This is what your range is. This is what your range is. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. This is your ranges. This is your ranges. Any doubts till now? No. We have learnt both the regimes now, old regime and new regime. In the old regime also we learned the taxes, surcharge and marginal relief, with rebate. New regime we also learnt tax, surcharge, marginal relief, rebate. Yes, along with an extra concept now called as marginal rebate. Along with the extra concept now called as marginal rebate. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what we learnt. This is what we learned. Now, the one thing which you have to keep in mind is what happened. I told you, government was not happy because people were not using it. Government was not happy because people were not using it. So this year they came and said, boss, forget this old regime, new regime. Forget this old regime, new regime. Going forward, 115 BAC is called as the default tax regime. What is it called as? Default tax regime. Rahul, what do you mean by default tax regime? Which means now this is your priority regime. This is your priority regime. If you don't know what to do, you will do 115 BAC. If you don't know what to do, you'll do 115 BAC. Until last year or exams, I always used to come and say you have to do the normal regime unless and until they come and say 115 BAC. This year, normally you should do 115 BAC. That will become other regime. Okay. So what happened is government now came and said, because people are not using my regime which I brought in for you, I made it mandatory for everyone. I made it mandatory for everyone. So now this has become your default regime, which means your old regime is now called as, where is it, ma? Your old regime is now called as alternate tax regime. What is it called as? Alternate tax regime. In simple words, ma, please understand. For one person, I'm giving you two options. You can either opt this or you can opt that, which means you need to choose. Who needs to choose? I need to choose. At the same time, what happened is until last year, I used to tell, boss, this is your default. This is your default. If you want to choose that, you have to tell me. Tell whom? Government. Government. So yes, so what he has to do is, until last November, I used to come and say, follow this regime. If you want to choose 115 BSc, intimate the government that you have to choose 115 BSc. Intimate the government that you have to choose 115 BSc. From this May attempt, what will happen is, I will choose 115 BSc. If I want to choose this one, I have to now intimate the government, which means earlier I used to intimate for 115 BSc, now I have to intimate for old regime. Now I have to intimate for old regime. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Rahul, how will this be presented in exam? In exam, they will come and say, compute tax under default regime. Compute tax under default regime. In that case, you need to do, very good, you need to do 115 BAC. 115 BAC. Then they come and say, compute tax if he is opting out of default regime. Under section 115 BAC bracket 1A. Under what? 115 BAC 1A. Now what is this 115 BAC 1A? I told you, no, you are going to defaultly opt for 115 BAC. You're going to defaultly opt for 115 BAC. If you don't want to opt for 115 BAC, you have to inform the government. You have to inform the government. How to inform the government? It is given in 115 BAC 1A. It is given in 115 BSc 1A, which means they'll come and say he has chosen to opt out of default tax regime, or he has chosen to shift out of default tax regime under section 115 BSc, in which you will do Finance Act. In which case you will do Finance Act. Yes or no? Yes. So be extremely careful about the English which they use. Be extremely careful about the English which they use. If you notice the question which we were doing, they say, see what? It says compute his tax liability under default regime under section 115 BSc. அப்படினா normal new regime. Normal new regime. அப்படியே மேல போனோம். Assume that Arjun has exercised the option of shift out / opt out of default tax regime. அப்படினா you have to do as per Finance Act. You have to do as per Finance Act old regime. Yes. அப்படியே இங்க பாரு. You're required to compute the tax of Abhinav, age 32 years, he has the following income. Who has the following income? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all. They have told there is a person called Abhinav, aged 32 years, who has the following income. Have they told you how to compute tax? Have they told you which regime to opt for? No, in this case, what will you do? You will check for both. You will check for both. Yes. Understand, you are a normal individual. You are a normal individual. The reason this regime is brought is because we want to ask you what you want. We want to ask you what you want. In this question, have they told you what they want? So as a CA, what are you supposed to do? You have to tell them what to want. You have to tell them what to want. So which means you will take both the regimes. You will take both the regimes and choose whichever is higher or lower. You want to pay higher tax, lower tax. So you'll choose whichever is lower. You choose whichever is lower. If you notice in the golden rules which he wrote yesterday, we told step number 9, step number 10, step number 11 and 12. We said 9 versus 10, whichever is higher, versus 11, whichever is lower. Yes, 9 was your Finance Act, 11 was your 115 BSc. Now we are telling whichever is lower. We're telling whichever is lower. So basically, I'm asking you to do step number 12. I'm asking you to do step number 12. Clear? Not clear? 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 Yes. Yes. So you need to decide what you need to do. You need to decide what you need to do. If they say simple compute tax, if they say simple compute tax, you need to check for both regime. You need to check for both regime and opt for whichever is lower. Clear? Yes, be extremely careful about this. An amendment for the current year and therefore extremely important. You may not be tested on individual like I told you. But individual taxation is still there in your syllabus for your double taxation relief. For what relief? Double taxation relief. And I told you this regime is applicable even if you are a non-resident. So on the double taxation regime, you will have to be extremely careful about both the regimes. Normally, in now new questions and all, they will always test you on default one, which is 115 BAC. Which means going forward, unoda May exam kaga 99% of the questions they will only check you on 115 BSc. Unless and until they specifically tell you to opt out, you always have to check for 115 BSc. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. If I have to prepare a difference summary, left side is called as alternate regime. Right side is called as default regime. Yes. Tax given under, where is the tax given under? Finance Act. The tax is given under Finance Act. Default regime, tax is given under 115 BAC. Yes. In old regime, you have an higher basic exemption limit for resident, senior and super senior. Yes or no? You have higher basic exemption limits both for senior and super senior citizens. Hey, do you have this in the new regime? Do you have it in the new regime? No. It is the same rate, same basic exemption limit, irrespective of age and RS. What is RS? Residential status. Yes, you have the same basic exemption limit whether you are at what rate. It doesn't matter, no matter what you are at what rate. Yes or no? C. Rebate in old regime is 5 lakhs का income, 12,500 का tax. 5 lakhs का income, 12,500 का tax. Rebate is 7 lakhs का income, 25,000 का tax. 25,000 का tax. Yes or no? Yes. D. Marginal rebate. A. Eligible, not eligible. Marginal rebate. Old regime. Eligible, not eligible. Not eligible. Yes. Marginal rebate not applicable. Default regime. Marginal rebate irka illaya? Applicable. Marginal rebate is applicable. Next, you have surcharge. Surcharge will come from 0% to, very good, 37%. On the right side, surcharge will come from, very good, 0% to 25%. 0% to 25%. F. Marginal relief. There, not there. Applicable. Marginal relief applicable. Default regime. Marginal relief applicable, not applicable. Applicable. Marginal relief applicable. G. Rahul, I have both the regimes. I want to choose alternate regime. Can I directly choose it, or do I have to intimate the government? I have to intimate the government. So alternate regime. You have to intimate and avail. You have to intimate. Hi Ritanya. Yes.
Got delayed, sir.
No worries. So Ritanya, what I'll do is probably I am already recording the video. I have the raw file with me. Okay. Maybe you can follow from. Anyway, I'm done with the individual taxation. I'm going to start with the next taxation. You can follow from here. The individual part now, I will just take the raw file and I'll share it to you by another hour or so, and you can watch it later on. Okay. Are you in Chennai right now, or you're back home?
No, back.
Okay, so you're not doing office today, is it?
So it's work from
Perfect. Okay, great. Yes, I'm just completing this last line. Just ignore it. After that, we'll start together. Okay. Yes. So in alternate regime, it is to intimate and avail. In default, it is already considered unless moved out. Already considered unless moved out. Yes, these are your differences. These are your differences. You can make a note and you can put it posted against it. You can make a note and put it posted against it. We will learn this in detail also. Okay. Special tax regime is a part of your next chapter also. Is a part of your next chapter. For the sake of convenience, I am doing it together. But right now, this is what the idea is. This is what the idea is. You are in individual taxation with both the default regime and alternate tax regime. Now, Rahul, in exam, what you need to do, you need to check whether they are telling you to opt for it or they are not giving you anything. If they're not giving you anything, you have to check for both. Check for both and whichever is lower. Check for both and whichever is lower. Clear till here? Clear till here? Yes. Now, if you notice, in alternate regime and default regime, generally which looks better? Generally which looks better? Default regime, the taxes are lower. You're getting lower surcharge. You're getting lower rebate. Everything looks beneficial. Everything looks beneficial. Appo, why do you think people were not opting for it? Obviously, if government is giving you two regimes, there is something which they'll take back from you also. If they're telling you that I will give you a lower tax rate, then you have to offer higher income also. You have to offer higher income also. In simple words, what is happening is you are losing certain benefits. You're losing certain benefits. So the last difference is that you can claim all deductions and exemptions. In what regime? In alternate regime. You can claim all deductions and exemptions in alternate regime, whereas in the default regime, you have to forego certain deductions and exemptions. You have to forego certain deductions and exemptions, which means 99% in your default regime, your income will be higher. 99% in your default regime, your income will be higher. Yes or no? Yes or no? Which means you now need to make a choice whether you want the default regime or alternate regime, deciding on the tax. Deciding on the tax. You will be given two different incomes, and the two different incomes which you have to decide whether you want the alternate regime or you want the default regime. Whether you want the alternate regime or you want the default regime. Yes or no? Yes. What I am going to do in the class is, when we do a specific chapter, we will read the whole chapter as if we are in the alternate regime. As if we are in the alternate regime. When the chapter gets over, I will come and tell you, Rahul, this one not applicable, this one not applicable, this one not applicable, which means you need to ignore them for default regime. You need to ignore them for default regime. In simple example, for example, I am in PGBP. I complete the whole chapter. I'll come and tell you every deduction and exemption which is there. Okay. When the chapter gets over, I'll come and tell you that if you choose to opt for the default regime, If you choose to offer default regime, you cannot claim this deduction, this deduction, this deduction. Okay, what you will do is that time you will take a pencil or a pen out. On that specific section, you will note down saying not applicable on default, not applicable on default. So next time when you read, you know that this you do not have to claim for default regime. This you don't have to claim for default regime. If we do that, you don't need to read chapter number 3. You don't need to read chapter number 3. In my book, chapter number 3 is special tax regime, where basically the tax rate along with the deductions are given. The tax rates along with deductions are given. Rather than doing chapter number 3, we will do it in every chapter together. We will do it in every chapter together. Yes or no? Makes sense? Makes sense? I do not want to give you everything which is there in chapter number 3, because even if I tell you, you won't understand. Okay, right now, since you have not completed the other chapters, if I give you the list of sections also, you will not understand. You will not understand. So it's better we do it chapter wise. The better we do it chapter wise. Therefore, I am covering the tax rates along with the chapter number 2. I am covering tax rates along with chapter number 2. Clear? Clear? Yes, this is what your tax rates are. This is what your tax rates are. What we are going to do is we are going to solve 2 small sums and then we'll complete individual. We'll solve 2 small sums and complete individual. You help me out with what is better. You help me out with what is better. Example number 1. Compute tax for, let's say, Srinidhi. Compute tax for Srinidhi. Age is given as 37 years. Age is given as 37 years. If her income under both regime are as follows. If her income under both regimes are as follows. Under 115 BAC, her income is 7,24,000. Under 115 BAC, her income is 7,24,000. Under the alternate regime, her income is 5,20,000. Her income is 5,20,000. Yes, yes. I am coming and telling you that, Rahul, there is one person, she computed her income. Because she lost some deductions and all. 115 BAC is showing 7,24,000, and if she claim all those deductions and exemptions and all, her alternate is showing 5,20,000. Her alternate is showing 5,20,000. You need to decide whether she should opt for alternate or she should opt for 115 BAC. Yes or no? Yes. Can we do it? Can we do it? Yes, let's do it. What will you do? I am creating one big column in the middle. I'm going to create a column in the middle. On the left, I'm going to say alternate regime. On the right, I'm going to say 115 BAC. On the right, I'm going to say 115 BAC. Yes. What is my income first of all? In alternate regime, my income is 5,20,000. In 115 BAC, my income is how much? 7,24,000. Hey, with me till here? Yes. Your income is 5,20,000 and 7,24,000. Now. Always step number 1 when we are computing tax. Step number 1, computing tax. First of all, identify your person. Who is it? Who is it? It's an individual. Resident, non-resident. Not given, so resident. Age 37, which means senior, normal, normal person. Normal person. Step number 4. Find out whether the person is middle class, poor or rich. Middle class, poor or rich. Tell me. 5,20,000 old regime. Middle class, rich or poor? Middle class. 7,24,000 middle class, rich or poor? Middle class. Both are middle class, which means we have to do normal tax. We have to do normal tax. Yes, what will we do? Up to 2.5 lakhs. 0. Then 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. How much? 12,500. 12,500. 500. Then balance 20,000 at the rate of 20%. Correct? No, we are in old regime. Therefore, it is 20%. 20,000 into 20% will give me 4,000. Total becomes 16,500. Rahul, am I rich, poor, middle class? I am middle class. Am I eligible for rebate? No, I'm not eligible for rebate, which means this becomes my basic tax. On this, I will add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Number 660. Number becomes 17,160. 17,160. Clear? Yes, let's come to the right side. What will happen? Up to 3 lakhs. 0. Then 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs at the rate of 5%. Number is 15,000. Balance is 1,24,000 at the rate of 10%. Number will become 12,400. Total is 27,400. Now look at it carefully. What is my total income, Rahul? 7,24,000. Am I rich, middle class, poor? I am middle class. But carefully notice, had your income been 7 lakhs, you would have paid tax of 0. How much extra income did you earn? 24,000. How much extra tax are you paying? 27,400. If I want to earn 24,000, will I pay 27,400? No, I will come and say I don't want the 24,000. Give me the balance as a relief. Which means I will be eligible for what is called as marginal rebate. How much, Rahul? I am telling that I will surrender 24,000. You don't ask me extra tax. I was supposed to pay 27,400. I am ready to now pay only 24,000, which means government will give me a relief of 3,400. Therefore, my tax will become 24,000. Rahul, you did not do this for the left one. Left one also same logic. No, it is not. Why? Because left one is old regime, marginal rebate not eligible. Which means in the new regime you can claim marginal rebate. Number has become 7,24,000. You will add cess. At the rate of 4%. Number is 960. Total tax becomes 24,960. Now, you are the friend of Srinidhi. You will ask Srinidhi to opt for alternate or 115 BSc. You will ask her to opt for alternate regime. So, which means, what will you say? Srinidhi should opt out of 115 BSc. Srinidhi should opt out of 115 BSc. Clear till here? Makes sense. Can we go forward? Yes, this is example number 1. Any doubts? Sure. Yes, be extremely careful. Exam portho marginal rebate and all will not be given. You have to be smart enough to understand. I'll give you a small hint. Notice, up to 7 lakhs tax would have been 25,000. Which means rebate you would have claimed as 25,000, which means you will generally get a marginal rebate as long as income is up to 7,25,000. 7,25,000 ka mela pochna, you will not get marginal rebate. You will not get marginal rebate. That is one small hint for you. That is one small hint for you. Don't remember and mug up and all. Don't remember and mug up and all. That is not the idea. That is not the idea. You can keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Clear? Yes. Can we do the next question? Yes. Next question before we move to the next person. The next question is example number 2. Next question is example number 2. Yeah. Example number 2. We are coming and saying that there is a person called as Mr. Mohan. There is a person called as Mr. Mohan. He is a resident and his age is 83 years. Mr. Mohan is a resident with an age of 83 years. Has told you that the income is as follows. Under section 115 BAC, under section 115 BAC. Normally 115 BAC will have higher income than alternate or lower than income alternate? Will it have higher income than alternate or lower income? It will always have the same or higher only. It will always have the same or higher only. 115 BAC can never have lower income. Can never have lower income. So let's say 115 BAC income is saying 5 crores 48 lakhs 50,000. 5 crores 48 lakh 50,000 under the alternate regime. Under what regime? Alternate regime. It is 5 crores 12 lakhs. How much? 5 crores 12 lakhs. This is what your regime numbers are. This is what your regime numbers are. They are asking you which one is better. Which one is better? Yes, what will we do? Same logic. Split your sheet into 2 columns. One left column is called as alternate. Right column is called as 115 BAC. Can we? Yes. How to do, Rahul? First of all, look at your person. Your person is Mr. Mohan, resident, aged 83, which means he is super senior citizen. Now you are in old regime. It is up to 10 lakhs directly. Yes, on up to 10 lakhs. What will be, ma? It will be for the first 5 lakhs 0. Next 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs it is 20%, which means number will only be 1 lakh. Check. Up to 5 lakhs 0. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs is 5 lakhs increase at the rate of 20%. Number is 1 lakh. Balance is how much? 5 crore 12 lakhs lende 10 lakhs pochu. So therefore 5 crore 2 lakhs at the rate of 30% number 1 crore 50 lakh 60,000. 1 crore 50 lakh 60,000. Yes, therefore my total tax will become 1 crore 51 lakh 60,000. My total tax will become 1 crore 51 lakh 60,000. Rahul, ask yourself, you are a rich, middle class, poor? Are you a rich, middle class or poor? You are very rich. You are very rich. So therefore you have to add. Very good. At the rate of, we are in alternate regime. Surcharge at the rate of 37%. Surcharge at the rate of 37%. Number 1 crore 51 lakh 60,000 into 37%. 56 lakh 9,200. Add both the numbers. Two crore 7 lakh 69,200. Add. Next step is to add health and education cess at the rate of Number 8,30,768. Therefore, your total tax will become 2,15,99,968. Is this your final answer? Is this your final answer? No. Your final answer is 2,15,99,970. Why, Rahul? You lose half a mark here, be careful. You lose half a mark here, be careful. You always have to round off your tax payable into nearest 10. You have to round off your tax payable into nearest 10. Clear? Can we do the right side? Yes, on the right side. What will happen up to? Up to 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 and above. Yes, so therefore it is up to 15 lakhs. Yes, up to 15 lakhs. I told you the tax rate will be 1,50,000. Yes or no? I told you up to 15 lakhs the tax rate will be 1,50,000. Balances. What is your income under new regime? It is 5 crore 48,50,000. Remove 15 lakhs from this, it will become 5 crore. Remove 48 lakhs, 48 and the 15 remove pana, it will come 33 lakhs 50,000 at the rate of 30%. Number 5 crore 33,50,000 at the rate of 30%. 1 crore 60 lakh 5,000. 16,005 000. 16,005 000. Total number, it will become 1 crore 61 lakh 55,000. Rich, poor, middle class. Rich. If you are rich, you will have to add at the rate of, very good, at the rate of 25. Rahul, my income is more than 5 crores. Doesn't matter. New regime, it is only 25. New regime, it is only 25. Number 40 lakh 38,750. Total number, (2019) 3750. Yes. Next step, add cess. Number 8 lakh 7,750. Total number, two one 1500. Rahul, do I have to round off? No, because already rounded off. Now check and tell me which one is better. In new regime, they are asking you to pay 2 crore 10 lakhs 1,500. In old regime, they are asking you to pay 2 crore 15 lakh 99,970. You will prefer. So therefore, should you opt out or will you leave it just like that? You will leave it just like that. So therefore, the English will be Mr. Mohan should continue with default regime. Mr. Mohan should continue with default regime. Yes or no? Yes or no? Clear? Any doubts? No, this is your computational mechanism for individuals. If you have not noted it down, quickly note it down. Yes. Now, while you're doing that, let me also clarify. I have never done such comparison questions. I've never done such comparison questions because generally it doesn't come in exam. Generally, it doesn't come in exam. Starting this year, it will. Starting this year, it will. Please understand, when the new syllabus is notified, the pattern of syllabus does not now come and say computation of tax. It now comes and says computation of tax as per the most beneficial laws. Computation of tax as per most beneficial laws. This is how ICAI notified the pattern itself, which means now ICAI is not more interested about taxes. ICAI is more interested about decision making. It's more interested about decision making, which means going forward in exams, you will not get a straightforward question where they'll come and say, tell me under 115 BSc or tell me under alternate. They'll come and say, oh, this is what your income is. You make the decision whether you should do 115 BSc or you should do alternate. You should do alternate. They have used the word saying optimal tax regime. Optimal tax regime, which means they're coming and saying, choose whatever is most beneficial. Choose whatever is most beneficial, which means from May 24, it becomes your responsibility to decide and understand which one is better. Which one is better? Questions like these are expected in exam. Questions like these are expected in exam. Obviously, not an individual level. Not an individual level, because I told you it is not coming. I told you it is not coming. These similar kind of questions will come for your company level. Will come for your company level. We'll understand. When we do tax rates of company, you'll understand that time. But this is what the provisions are. It'll change, obviously. Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. See, these kind of questions will 99% come for you in double taxation. Okay, so double taxation, they don't ask much. They'll give you the total income and they'll come and say, tell me what is the tax under both the regimes and tell me how much relief you will claim. Tell me how much relief you will claim. Generally, double taxation relief is 8-mark question. Okay, so double taxation relief for the questions in left 4 marks will be for chapter number 2 for computing these regimes. Which 4 marks will be for getting a foreign tax credit. Okay, when we do the chapter, you will understand it better. But please understand, from this year, your regimes become extremely important. Your regimes become extremely important. The reason I'm telling you this is because from last year, I told you this regime came in 2021 itself. From that, 4 attempts are over. From that, 4 attempts are over. Never have they tested any kind of 115 BSc question. Okay, generally in exam also, what they'll do is they'll only give you normal regime. They'll only give you normal regime. They don't test regimes also. In the last 4 attempts also, ICAI for final level, for company also has only tested once. New regimes and all, they only tested once. They have never tested it before that. Okay, so every time, always it will only be normal regimes. Starting this year, the expectation of the special regimes have become extremely important, because now they are asking you decision making questions. They're asking you decision making questions. You have to be extremely careful about this. Okay, so starting this year, I will also in my classes not come and tell you what regime. If I leave the question blank, it is your responsibility to choose for both the regimes. To choose for both the regimes. Clear? Yes, keep this in mind. Going forward, I will keep asking questions like this. I will keep asking questions like these. Any doubts? Can we go forward? No? All right. What we are going to do is, we are going to also come and tell you what to mark. Hey, Ritanya, have you received your books, ma? Or you are still yet to receive your books?
So today only they want to deliver.
Okay, but you have gone back home, no? So how will they deliver it?
No, I can call.
Okay, fine. Okay. See, we have already done this yesterday. Yes, chapter number 2, we have discussed this yesterday. What are the regimes? This is your old regime. This is your old regime. This is your tax rates, your circular for that 60 and 80 years, your rebate question, your surcharge question. Please be extremely careful. Rebates are done before claiming your cess. Rebates are done before claiming your cess. Surcharge is also done on the basic tax rate, and cess is also done after surcharge. Cess is also done after surcharge. You have to be extremely careful about it. You have to be extremely careful about it. Leaving this part, we will do this later. This is your margin relief part. This is your margin relief part, which is your chapter number, page number 12. Okay, in page number 12, you will find your margin relief. In page number 12, you will find your margin relief. The same kind of examples are given in the book also. You can follow the examples. You can follow the examples. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go to the next chapter. I want you to go to the next chapter called as special tax regime. In that next chapter, page number 22. Page number 22. Yes, please take out your amendment pens. Please take out your amendment highlighters. I'm going to tell you what and all to highlight. Please highlight those because those are the amendments. Those are the amendments. First of all, like I told you, until last year, 115 BAC was only applicable on individual and HF. This time they've introduced AOP, BOIN, AJP. So please highlight the AOP, BOIN, AJP. Highlight your AOP, BOIN, AJP. Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. First highlight is the amendment of AOP, BOIN, AGP. Second, your whole tax rate is an amendment. Your whole tax rate is an amendment. So first 3 lakhs, then next 3 lakhs, then next 3 lakhs, then next 3 lakhs, then next 3 lakhs. Okay, the whole slabs given to you, everything is an amendment, so everything has to be highlighted. Everything has to be highlighted. Clear? Yes, you can highlight the tax rates also because that is also technically an amendment only. Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. Then if you come to the rebate part, I told you rebate is normally there. Rebate is normally there. The numbers have changed, so please highlight the 7 lakhs. Please highlight the 7 lakhs and highlight the 25,000. Highlight the 7 lakhs and the 25,000. I am assuming you are using your highlighter pen, people, because there are some other highlights also. Please don't mix it up. Only use your highlighter pen. It is 7 lakhs order number and 25,000 number. 7 lakhs order number and 25,000 order number. On the bottom, point number 3, you see marginal rebate. I told you this marginal rebate is there only for new regime. It is there only for new regime. So the whole thing is a highlight. You can highlight the whole tax payable part. Yes. Kila irukku the example and all we have already done right now. You don't have to do it again. So the rebate part is a highlight for you. The marginal rebate is a full highlight for you. Clear? Next. If you notice, I have put a note also. In the next page where I have come and said, note, the concept of marginal rebate is not available if assessee opts to pay tax as per normal provisions of the Act. Yes or no? Do you see the note? Yes. This will be highlighted in your important highlighter. Okay. Change your highlighter. In the important highlighter, you need to highlight this part. Highlighted in your important highlighter that the concept of marginal rebate is only applicable in case you opt for new regime. It cannot be opted for old regime. Yes. Can we go forward? Yes. In your surcharge part, there is one line on the bottom called as that is no enhanced surcharge of 37% is applicable. That is the amendment. Adu mattum highlight pannom. Okay, the balance surcharges were already there. The no enhanced surcharge of 37% is applicable. That is your amendment. Clear? Yes. Then if you come down, I told you, no, earlier variko normal regime was important. 115 BAC was chosen. Now 115 BAC is important. Normal has to be chosen. Yes. So in this words, you will find somewhere as opt out. You will find wordings as opt out. Yes, and the opt out part you have to highlight. The opt out part. We will read all this, people. When we come to the third chapter, we will read all this once again. Don't worry about it. But right now, just highlight it off. Wherever you see the word opt out. If my memory serves right, you will find opt out in 3 places. In point number B la first line la irukku, point number C la first line la irukku, point number C la third line la irukku. Okay, these three parts, please highlight it and keep. These are your amendments. Clear? Any doubts? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. Awesome. This marks your end of individual taxation. This marks your end of individual taxation. If you have no doubts, we will try to move forward. We'll try to move forward. Perfect. If you are coming and completing your individual taxation, we have now done your individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. AOP, BOI and AJP. Moving on to someone called as firm. Moving on to someone called as firm. A straightforward 5 seconds answer. A straightforward 5 seconds answer. Firm is taxable for 30%. Firm is taxable for 30%. முடிஞ்சிச்சு chapter அவ்வளவுதான். A firm is taxable for 30%. I don't care whether he is resident. I don't care whether he is non-resident. I don't care whether he is in India, he is in foreign. He earned 1 lakh rupees, 1 rupee, 10 crore rupees, 5 crore rupees. Doesn't matter. Tax is 30%. Tax is 30%. Rahul, I am a firm. Can I claim rebate? No. Poor person can only be individual. Poor person can only be individual. Other than individual, no one is eligible for rebate. Other than individual, no one is eligible for rebate. So, which means firm will be liable for a tax of 30%. Firm will be liable for a tax percent. Rahul, can a firm be rich? Yes. A firm can be rich. So, therefore, the provisions is he will be liable for a surcharge at the rate of 12% if total income goes beyond 1 crore. What is happening? Total income is going beyond 1 crore. This is all the provision is. This is all the provision is. Rahul, firm has earned 1 crore 1 lakh. Firm has earned 1 crore 1 lakh. Can he claim marginal relief? Yes. That can be done. Yes, understand. Marginal relief is not a concept which is only applicable to individuals. That is applicable to every person. That is applicable to every person. So, you will be liable for a surcharge at the rate of 12%. If the total income goes beyond 1 crore, you are eligible for marginal relief. You are eligible for marginal relief. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, this is what your firm concept is. This is what your firm concept is. Simple, straightforward answer. There is nothing complicated. There is nothing complicated. I do remember some MCQs and all coming in exam where they'll come and say you, does tax rate of a firm changes based on residential status? Does tax rate of a firm change based on residential status? Yes or no? Yes or no? Does your firm tax rate change based on residential status? No. It's a direct 30%. It is a direct 30%. Yes or no? Yes. So there is no change on the tax rate basis your residential status. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You will only have 30% as a tax rate. Clear? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. Moving to the most important tax rates from your final perspective. Company. Moving to the most important person from your final perspective, which is your company. I want your special attention here because this is important. Because this is important. When it comes to company, I have already told you company means a company registered under Companies Act. Company is a company registered under Companies Act. Income tax comes and says when it is a company, I want you to split. First of all, come and tell me which type of company are you talking about? Which type of company are you talking about? In income tax, we have two kinds of company. One company is called as domestic company. One company is called as foreign company. What is one company? Domestic company. The other company is called as foreign company. Rahul, what do you mean by a foreign company? What do you mean by a foreign company? A foreign company is a company which is not a domestic company. Income tax, no? Yeah. Foreign company is a company which is not a domestic company. But what is domestic company, Rahul? A company which is not a foreign. Domestic company has two types. Domestic company has two types. One type is called as Indian company. What is one company called as? Indian company. The other company is called as any other company. Distributing dividends in India. Two companies we have. One company is called as Indian company. The other company is called as any other company distributing dividends in India. In simple words, let's say for example, you're a foreign company. What are you? You're a foreign company. Let's say for example, you're Tesla. You're Tesla foreign company. Yes, you are into manufacturing of cars. You're into manufacturing of cars. Recently, you have become very interested about India. You become very interested about India. You told that, boss, I want all my owners should only be India. I want all my owners should only be India, or maximum owners should be in India. Maximum owners should be in India. So what happened is you made a decision that going forward, since all my owners are in India, I will create an office in India also. Who are you? You are Tesla. Registered in India or in foreign? You're registered in foreign, but you have decided to make an office in India. You have decided to make an office in India. In this office in India, you will keep a register. You will keep a register. In that register, you will come and say, I have this as my owner. I have this as my owner. I have this as my owner. Hey, this is important register, not important register. It's an important register. This is a register of your owners. This is a register of your owners. Now, what is happening is you're keeping a register in India, and most of the members in this are Indians. Most of the members are Indians. So, which means dividends will be given to Indians or will be given to foreign? Indians. So, they are coming and saying, if you are found out to be a foreign company which is maintaining registers in India and you are going to give distribution of dividends in India, I will treat you as a domestic company. I'll treat you as a domestic company because most of your owners are Indians. Most of your owners are Indians. So, this is called as any other company prescribing arrangements for distributing dividends in India. Prescribing arrangements for distributing dividends in India. If you don't choose to distribute dividends in India, you will be called as foreign company. You will be called as foreign company. Yes, yes. Now, Rahul, what is an Indian company? What is an Indian company? Indian company means a company registered under Companies Act. A company registered under Companies Act. Rahul, what is a company? Company means any company, that's all. Company means any company. Otherwise, if you are registered under Companies Act, then you are Indian company. If you are not registered under Companies Act, I will come and ask you, are you distributing dividends in India? If you say yes, you are a domestic company. If you say no, you are a foreign company. If you say no, you are a foreign company. This is what a demarcation is. This is what a demarcation is. Any doubts? Any doubts? No? No? Now, understand, this definitions is not there in chapter number 2. This is there in another chapter in international taxation called as residential status. When we go back there, that time we'll again discuss. We'll go back there, we'll again discuss. Right now, I'm just giving it to you. Right now, I'm just giving it to you. What are the types of company, people? You have two companies. One is called as domestic company, foreign company. Domestic company and foreign company. Foreign company is some company which is not a domestic company. Domestic company is Indian company and distributing dividends in India company. If you are an Indian company, it means you are a company registered under Companies Act. Now, please understand, I am telling in simple words, company under Companies Act. Definition also has some more companies. Definition also have some more companies. Like for example, they come and say company registered under Jammu and Kashmir Companies Act. What act? Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir has a different Companies Act. Back then when Jammu and Kashmir had 377 not implemented, that time they created their own act. They created their own act. So it was Jammu and Kashmir Companies Act. Then there was something called as Daman and Diu. Have you heard about Daman and Diu? This is your union territory. This is your union territory. All these union territories have their own Companies Act policies. Have their own Companies Act policies. At the end of the day, are they Indian companies? No. Are they Indians? Not Indians. They are Indians. So they came and said, it doesn't matter person. Whether you have a registered under Companies Act or you have a registration under these Companies Acts, it is all company. It is all company. And then they put a blanket thing saying any person notified as Indian company. Any person notified as Indian company. Hey, who will notify? Who will notify? If you want to notify someone as Indian company, you need to issue something called as circular or notification. You will have to issue notification. No, it has to be applicable to everyone. No, everyone should know he's an Indian company. So you'll have to issue a notification. Who will issue notification? Who will issue? Full form, ma. Who will issue notification? In income tax, who issues notifications? CBDT. Yes, so they are simply coming and saying Indian company is a company which is a company registered under Companies Act, a company registered under Jammu and Kashmir Act, a company registered under Daman and Diu Act, a company which is notified as a company by CBDT, a company which is notified as Indian company by CBDT. As such, no company has been notified. As such, no company has been notified, but CBDT has been given a blanket power. They have been given a blanket power. Clear? Clear? Can we go forward? Yes, this is your definition of company. This is your definition of company. But we are in definition chapter, or we are in rates of taxes chapter? We are in rates of taxes chapter. So I have to give you the rates of taxes. Income tax comes and says, if you are a foreign company, what are you? You are a foreign company. Rahul, if I am a foreign company, my tax rate is 40%. What percent? 40%. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you are notified as a foreign company, your tax rate is 40%. Rahul, I am a domestic company. I am a domestic company. They're asking you two conditions. They're asking you two conditions. Tell me what your turnover is. Tell me what your turnover is. If you tell me that your turnover is less than or equal to 400 crores, how much? 400 crores. I will tell you that the tax rate is 25%. How much? 25%. I am saying if I find out that your turnover is less than or equal to 400 crores, your tax rate is 25%. If it is anything else, your tax rate will become 30%. Your tax rate will become 30%. Tell me once again, what is it? If your turnover is found out to be less than 400 crores, it is 25%. If not, it will be 30%. If not, it will be 30%. Now, the question to you is like this. The question to you is like this. I am telling you that your turnover should be less than 400 crores, you will get 25%. You will get 25%. Now, this is a tax. This is a tax. Will you like to know at the start of the year itself, or will you like to know at the end of the year? Will you like to know how much is your tax liability in the start of the year itself, or will you like to know at the end of the year? You like to know from the start itself, because then only you can plan your business. Then only you can plan your business. Can I tell that I want my turnover of 23-24? Should I check for my turnover of 23-24? No, because 23-24 is still going. I want the tax before 1st April itself. Yes or no? I want to know what my tax rate will be on 1st April 23. On what? What is 1st April 23, Rahul? 1st April 23 is your previous year. 23-24. Hey, you are writing for what exam, ma? 23-24. You are writing exam for previous year 23-24, which means your first day of the year will be 1st April. Your first day of the year will be 1st April. On that 1st April, would you like to know your tax rate? Would you like not to know your tax rate? I would like to know my tax rate. So can I come and say that I should look for 400 crores for 23-24? No. No, I can't check for 23-24 because I don't know what my turnover will be. I could be 400 crores, it could be 600 crores also. Yes or no? Yes or no? Should I look for my 22-23? Should I look for my 22-23? Now, question to you. Hey, do you alone want to know your tax rate, or department also wants to know your tax rate? Department also wants to know your tax rate. So, department on 1st April 23 is coming and saying, dear Rahul, tell me what is your tax rate. Tell me what is your tax rate. I am saying, sir, 22-23, my turnover was 390 crores. Therefore, it is 25%. Therefore, it is 25%. Department will say, prove it to me. Department will say, prove it to me. How will you prove it to him, ma? How do you prove department something? You have to file a return. You have to file a return. Yes or no? Hey, for 22-23 previous year. For previous year 22-23. For previous year 22-23. Due date for return filing is 31st October 2020. Very good. You file it in assessment year. You file it in assessment year. So you will tell him on 31st October 23. Now, department will get to know about your turnover in October or April. He will get to know only in October because he is filing the return only on October. Department wants to know on April. Department wants to know on April, which means can department take 22, 23? Can department take 22, 23? No. Now you cannot give him 23, 24. You cannot give him 22, 23. You can only give him 21, 22. Now tell me 21, 22. Your return filing due date is 31st October 2022. Yes or no? Which means in October itself you have filed your return. Department wants to know your tax rate on 1st April 23. On 1st April 23, does department have a statement to say what is your turnover? Yes. So can department come and tell you what is your tax rate? Yes. So what is better, ma? To choose 23, 24 or 22, 23 or 21, 22? Therefore, the previous year turnover of 400 crores is for PY 21, 22. Is for PY 21, 22. Clear? Not clear? Yes. Now understand, this previous year keeps changing every single year. This previous year keeps changing every single year. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now understand, you are in previous year 23, 24. Therefore, you are looking for 21, 22 because that is the latest return. Assuming you are in 24, 25. Assuming you are in previous year 24, 25. By 24, 25, 22, 23 return would have been filed. So department can now check the 22, 23. Yes or no? So which means this keeps changing every year. This keeps changing every year. For your exam, it is 21, 22. For your exam, it is 21, 22. Rahul, how to remember all this? I'll tell you simple. I'll tell you simple. Companies, you will have to prepare something called a Schedule 3. Yes or no? You have to prepare something called as Schedule 3. Turnover will be a part of balance sheet or P&L. P&L. So therefore, you have to prepare something called as statement of profit and loss. What are the columns, ma? You have particulars. Then you will prepare for year ending 31st March 2020. Hey, your exam is 23, 24. So you will prepare for 23, 24. So year ending 23, 24. Now if you remember Schedule 3 properly, you cannot just prepare for 23, 24. You also have to show 22, 23. Yes or no? Yes or no? So you have to show year ending 31st March 2023. This is how your Schedule 3 will look like. This is how your Schedule 3 will look like. No. You are going to pay tax for 23, 24 or 22, 23. You are going to pay tax for 23, 24. You are going to pay tax for 23, 24. No. Your problem is you want a tax for this. You want a tax for this. Yes or no? Now what happened is when you were preparing your P&L, you realized that your 22, 23 turnover is showing 450 crores. How much? 450 crores. Assuming that you should have taken 22, 23, your turnover is showing 450 crores. Your tax here would have become 30%. Yes or no? You want how much? You want 25. Can you manipulate this or not manipulate this? You can manipulate it. Possible, not possible. When you read Companies Act, you will realize that in Companies Act, the provisions come and say that you are permitted to change your books. You are permitted to change your books of earlier years. You are permitted to change your books of earlier years in order to maintain consistency. Because you need comparability. Yes or no? You are going to compare 23, 24 with 22, 23. So for the sake of consistency, you are permitted to change your books. Is it possible for me to change 450 crores? Yes. What I can come and say? I can come and say, sir, by mistakenly last year I had disclosed 450 crores. Actually, I should not disclose 450 crores. I should have only disclosed 390 crores. I should have only disclosed 390 crores. Sir, if I would have disclosed 390 crores, my tax would have been 25%. Possible, not possible? Possible, which means at any point of time when you complete your balance sheet for the current year, you have a liberty to change your numbers of last year and cheat the government. So government came and said, boss, nothing doing. I cannot consider 22, 23. Because you can still change the numbers. So you can change numbers for 23, 24. You can change numbers for 22, 23. You cannot change number for 21, 22. Why, Rahul, you cannot change? because books are finalized last year itself. Books are finalized last year itself. Last year itself you freeze the numbers. Last year itself you freeze the numbers. After that you cannot change anything. After that you cannot change anything, which means this becomes a more clear. This becomes a more clear. If this number was showing 420 crores, you would have chosen a tax rate of 30%. Yes or no? Can someone now come and say, no, sir, actually that year also by mistakenly I showed 390 crores? Not possible, because your schedule 3 only permits 2 years. Your schedule 3 only permits 2 years. Yes or no? Yes. In simple words, Rahul, if you want to remember what previous year to take for, open your schedule 3, check the year not there. Check the year which is not there. You will have current year there. You will have last year there. You will not have last to last year. So you have to take previous year 21-22. You have to take previous year 21-22. A logic purida. Yes. Now understand, this is not the right logic. I am not telling you that this is why they made it. I am not telling you that this is why they made it. I am telling you this is the best way to remember. Okay. Don't come and tell me, Rahul, this is the logic. Go and tell your office principal, Rahul told me this is how they did it. This is the logic. No. This is not the logic. I am telling you easy ways to remember for exam. I am telling you easy ways to remember for exam. How do you remember 21-22? Look at the year which is not there in schedule 3. Look at the year which is not there in schedule 3. Or you can look at the year for which return is not return is last filed. Return is last filed, but look at the first day of the previous year. Look at the first day of the previous year. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. This is what your tax rates are for company. This is what is your tax rates for companies. Repeat it with me. There are two tax rates. One is for domestic company, one is for foreign company. Foreign company tax rate is 40%. Domestic company tax rate is, check for the turnover. Check for the turnover. If the turnover is less than 400 crores in previous year 21-22, it is 25%. If not, it is 30%. If not, it is 30%. Go back to your concept book. In your concept book, you will find this rates. In your concept books, you will find this rate in page number 11. In 11, you will see the turnover. You will see the turnover. Previous year 21-22, less than 400 crores. Please highlight that in highlighter, amendment pen. Please highlight that in amendment pen. Why is that amendment pen, Rahul? Because I told you it keeps changing every year. It keeps changing every year. Last year it was 20-21. Now it is 21-22. Next year it will be 22-23. So it keeps changing. So that is also an amendment pen for you. That is also an amendment pen for you. Clear? Clear? Yes. Can we go forward? Polama? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Now, like I told you, it is not just enough for you to read the normal rates. It is not just enough for you to read the normal rates, because back in 2020, government introduced new regimes. Government introduced new regimes, and therefore these rates are okay relevant but not very relevant. Okay relevant but not very relevant. These rates are called as special tax regimes. These rates are called as special tax regimes. What regimes? Special tax regimes. Now these were the first to be introduced. These were the first to be introduced. Then it was followed by the individual. Then it was followed by the individual. If you notice, individual is saying 115 BAC. BAC, which means adukku munadi irukadhu will be for company. Adukku munadi irukadhu will be for company. For companies, we have 115 BAA. What we have? 115 BAA and 115 BAB. 115 BAA and BAB. These are your new special regimes. These are your new special regimes. What does this regime come and say? Dear companies, you can choose to opt for the old rates. You can choose to opt for the old rates. But if you are ready to forego some items, you increase your income, I am ready to give you a special rate. 115 BAA comes and says, if you choose to come to me, you can avail a tax rate of 22%. How much percent? 22%. Notice, no, domestic company it is 25 or 30. I am ready to give you 22. I'm ready to give you 22. You don't have to choose turnover. You don't have to choose any other logic. I don't care about anything. I will give you 22%. I'll give you 22%. This 22% is applicable for any domestic company. What company? Any domestic company. Yes. So I'm coming and saying that if you are a domestic company and you are ready to let go of some items, you can come to me and I will give you a tax rate of 22. I'll give you a tax rate of 22. Clear? Not clear? 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 Coming to the right side. What is it? 115 B A B. Now what happened is, back in 2020 when this was introduced, they first introduced 115 BAA saying it is 22%. At the same time, they came and said, boss, India is getting into recession. People have stopped working here. People have stopped investing here. I want to increase my manufacturing sector. So they introduced this special provision called as 115 BAB, which is applicable to new domestic manufacturing companies. It is applicable to whom? New domestic manufacturing companies, which means if you are a manufacturing company, you can either choose 115 BAA or BAB. If you are a service sector company, you can only choose BAA. For you to get yourself into BAB, you should be into manufacture. They came and said, Rahul, if you are a new domestic manufacturing company, don't want 25, don't want 30, don't want 22, no problem, I will give you 15. What is the rate? They brought it down to 15%. They came and said, now company will only be taxable for 15%. Lifelong. What long? Lifelong you will be only taxable for 15% because you are a new domestic manufacturing company who is going to help me grow India. These are your new regimes. One is called as 115 BAA, one is called as 115 BAB. BAB is only for new domestic manufacturing companies. BAA is for any domestic company. Which means Rahul, I am a manufacturing company. What am I? I am a manufacturing company. I created myself in 1998. I can choose either from old regime or I can choose from BAA or BAB. Illa both. I am a manufacturing company created in 1998. Am I new? No. So can I opt for BAB? No, I can opt for BAA. Yes. So in that case, I have to either choose the normal regime or I have to choose 115 BAA. Rahul, I am a manufacturing company who has created this manufacturing company in 2021. In what? 2021. Am I new? Yes, because this provision was brought in 2019. So am I new company? Yes. Can I claim for BAB? Yes. Can I claim for BAA? Yes. Can I claim for normal? Yes. In which case, which one I prefer? I will prefer BAB. Because my tax rate is only 15%. Clear. Now, tax rate of 15% will change. There are multiple tax rates. Actually, main rate is 15%. Adukulla nariya rates irukku. We'll discuss in the next class. Right now, the basic rate is 15. Clear? Yes, Ritanya, all clear?
And this new regime, once opted, they cannot come out.
We'll discuss all those. All those intricacies I am yet to discuss. I will discuss it in the next chapter. Okay, I'm right now just giving you the tax rates. Okay, yes. So for your exams, you have three regimes. One is called as normal regime, one is called as BAA regime, one is called as BAB regime. Normal regime rate is 25 or 30. BAA regime is 22. BAB regime is 15. Clear? Clear? Yes, these are your tax rates. These are your tax rates. It is not done. It is not done. Please understand, like I told you, every person who is there has to go through three categories. One is called as poor, middle class, rich. I have given you the middle class rates. I have given you the middle class rates. Can a company be poor? No, which means poor is not there. Can a company be rich? Yes, company can be rich. If a company is rich, you will have something called as surcharge. You will have something called as surcharge. Yes, in surcharge of companies, they came and said, again Rahul, split it off. Again Rahul, split it off. Your split will be, you are either a domestic company or you are a foreign company. Or you are a foreign company. A foreign company ka regimes irka? Does foreign company have any regimes, or is it directly only 40%? It is only 40%. Can foreign company opt for 115 BW or BAB? No, they cannot opt for it. It is only for domestic company. It is only for domestic company, which means in domestic company I have to put a further split. I have to put a further split. One split is called as normal regime. One split is called as normal regime. The other is called as special regime. The other is called as special regime. One regime is called as normal regime, the other regime is called as special regime. They came and said, Rahul, how do I decide whether you are rich or poor? How do I decide whether you are rich or poor? They came and said, Rahul, up to 1 crore, you are middle class. Up to 1 crore, you are middle class, which means normal regime surcharge will be 0. Surcharge will be 0. Foreign company surcharge will be 0. Okay, up to 1 crore, I came and said, you are middle class. You are middle class. Rahul, after 1 crore, up to 10 crores. After 1 crore, up to 10 crores, they say for domestic company we levy 7% surcharge. How much surcharge? 7% surcharge. For foreign company we levy 2% surcharge. For foreign company we levy 2% surcharge. After that, above 10 crores, what crores? After that, above 10 crores, domestic company they levy 12% surcharge and foreign company will levy 5% surcharge. Foreign company will levy 5% surcharge. Hey, you will come and ask me, Rahul, foreign company, why so small surcharge? Domestic company are asking 12 and all, foreign you are only asking 5. Why, Rahul? Understand, tax itself is high for foreign. Tax itself is high for foreign. Near convey 40% putchin irukka, and the 2% and 5% will come on the 40%. Whereas the 12 and the 7 will come only on the 25 or 30. Will come on the 25 or 30. Therefore, it is better for you to have lower surcharges and higher tax. Lower surcharges and higher tax. If you end up putting 7 and 12 for foreign, they will end up paying 60-70% as tax. They'll end up paying 60-70% as tax. Do you think they'll come to India then? No, they will not come to India. We need to promote them also. So therefore, we came and said, no, Rahul, not such nonsense and all required. It is enough if you do 2 and 5. It is enough if you do 2 and 5. Technically think about it. Let's try. Assuming you are a domestic company. What are you? What is your maximum tax rate? 30. What is your maximum surcharge? 12. What is your maximum cess? Cess 4. Tell me what is the effective tax rate? 30 plus 12 plus 4. Effective tax rate is 30 plus 12 plus 4. On the calculator. 30 plus 12 plus 4. What is your effective tax rate? Sorry.
34.9.
Very good. It is 34.944. Yes. Assuming it is 30 plus 7 plus 4. Maximum tax rate is 30 plus 7 plus 4. 33.384. Assuming you are not poor, not rich, 30 plus 4% it is 31.2. Correct? Now come to the foreign side. If you have no surcharge, it is 40.4, 40 plus 4%, which means 41.6. 41.6. 40 plus 2 plus 4. 42.2. 432 40 plus 5 plus 4 43.468 வரும் 43.68. Notice no matter how you try, even though you gave higher surcharges for domestic company, and use the highest rate of 30, still the rate is only 34.944 maximum. 34.944 maximum. Foreign company, even though it is poor, they are at least paying 41.6 and going up to 43.68. No matter how hard you try, foreign company is already at a better rate. Which means it is better for you to give lower surcharge. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. Therefore, they have introduced 2 and 5. They did not make it 7 and 12. Clear? Yes. Now, I have left a place in the middle, which is called as income tax came and said, I will take one loss from you. If you opt for special regime, which is either 115 BAA or 115 BAB, I will not give any numbers and all. No matter what your income is. Everything will be liable for a surcharge of 10%. Rahul, I have income of 100 rupees. Am I liable for surcharge? Yes, you are liable for surcharge. If you opt for special regime, whether you choose up to 10 crores or you choose 1 to 10 crores or you choose above 10 crores, everything will be liable for a surcharge of 10%. Now tell me, Rahul, I am in 115 BAA. My effective tax rate will be what? It will be 22 plus 10 plus 4. Number will become 25.168. Check. 25.168. Rahul, I am in 115 BAB. My rate is 15 plus 10 plus 4. It will become 17.16. Which means no matter what you try, your effective tax rate will be lower than the normal tax rate. So therefore, they came and said, Rahul, if you are in special regime, I will not give you any benefit of slabs. Regardless of what your income is. Every income will now be liable for a surcharge of 10%. Mandatory rule. Please be extremely careful. Don't jumble up your surcharges for 115 individuals and 115 companies. Okay. Individual portavarikum, the surcharge is almost the same as normal. Except 37%. Here it is not the case. Here they are coming and saying mandatory 10% full stop. Even if your income is less than 1 crore, 10% mandatory. No doubts. Clear? Yes. Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. After this, cess will automatically come. Rahul, since there is surcharge, can you claim marginal relief? Yes. Marginal relief is still applicable. Marginal relief is applicable. But if you notice it carefully, will there be a marginal relief for special regime cases? Will you have a marginal relief for special regime cases? No. Why? Surcharge is not changed. Yes. Normally, if you remember, why did we do marginal relief case? Because your surcharge created more tax for you than your income. Your surcharge created for you more tax than your income, which means that will only be applicable if you are opting for normal regime or you are opting for foreign company. If you are in special regime, all the surcharges are still the 10%. Which means it doesn't matter. No matter what you try, it will still be not applicable for marginal relief because your tax will end up being lower than your income. Clear? Yes, yes. Let's do one question to sum up this. Let's do one question to sum up this. We are in example number 3. We are in example number 3. The example number 3 comes and says you are required to compute tax for ABC manufacturing company for whom? Your ABC manufacturing company. You are an ABC manufacturing company which is created in 2022. Which is created in 2022. You are required to compute the tax rate of ABC manufacturing company which is created in 2022 if the income is 1 crore 2 lakhs. How much is my income? 1 crore 2 lakhs. Or maybe just to make it more easy, just to make it a little complicated, we are doing 10 crore 2 lakhs. We're doing 10 crore 2 lakhs. Yes, I am telling you, you have to compute the tax rate for ABC manufacturing company if his income is more than, if his total income is 10 crore 2 lakhs. If his total income is 10 crore 2 lakhs, the previous year 21-22 turnover is given as, the previous year 21-22 turnover is given as 150 crores. The previous year 21-22 turnover is given as 150 crores. Have I told you what regime I want? Have I told you what regime I want? No, which means I need to choose between one regime will be normal, next regime will be, hey, can he opt for 115 BAA? Can he opt for 115 BAA? Yes, because he is a domestic company. Can he opt for 115 BAB? Yes, why? Because he is a manufacturing company and he is created in 2022. He is created in 2022, therefore he is also eligible. Which means I need to do tax as per all the three. A, is the income changing? No. Rahul, generally regime la income change agunola, not mandatory. It may change, it may not change. It 99% does change for individuals. It may or may not change for companies. When we do sums, you will realize. But this is what the policy is. Can we do it? Yes. What to do first? Starting from tax. For normal regime, tax is what rate? For normal regime, tax rate is 25 or 30. It is 25. Why, Rahul? Because my turnover is 150 crores. Therefore, tax rate will be 25. 115 BAA, tax rate is 22. BAB tax rate is 15. Give me the numbers. 10 crore 2 lakhs into 25% into 22% into 15% numbers. 2 crore 50 lakhs. 2 crore 50 lakh 50,000. Okay, 22%. 2 crore 20 lakhs 44,000. 15%. 1 crore 50 lakhs 30,000. This is your tax. Do you have to do slabs and all? No, Rahul. No slabs and all for companies. Yes, yes, Rahul. Then you have to identify whether you are already domestic. You have to identify whether you are middle class or rich. 10 crore 2 lakhs. Rich or middle class? 10 crore 2 lakhs. Rich or middle class? You are rich. If you are rich, your surcharge rate is for normal regime 12%. So you have to add surcharge rate is 12%. 12% of what, Rahul? 12% of 2 crore 50 lakhs. 12% of 2 crore 50 lakhs number. 30 lakh 3006 000. If you are in 115 BAA, your surcharge rate is 10%. If you are in 115 BAB, your surcharge rate is 10%. Rahul, 10% of what? The tax. Therefore, it will be 2204400. 2204400. Here it is 1503000. Yes or no? Yes or no? Total the numbers. It is 2 crore 80 lakh 56,000. Here it is 242 48,400. 2 crore 42 lakh 48,400. Right side. 165 33,000. 165 33,000. Yes, this is your surcharges. This is your surcharges. Rahul, can I directly put my cess now? 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 No. Why, Rahul? Because my income is 10 crore 2 lakhs. Why is it, Rahul? 10 crore 2 lakhs means it is very close to 10 crores, which means you have marginal relief. You have marginal relief for which one, Rahul? Normal, 115 BAA, BAB? Normal. So you have to do a separate working. You have to do a separate working. So I'm preparing a separate working right now. In that separate working, I'm going to come and say my tax on 10 crores. My tax on 10 crores. Rate is same 25. Therefore, 2 crore 50 lakhs. Add surcharge at the rate of 10 crores ka mela ma surcharge rate. Mela par 10 crores ka mela surcharge rate is 7%. If it was 12, there is no marginal relief. No, it is 7%. Number 2 crore 15 to 7%. 2 crore 15 to 7% number. 17 lakh 17 lakh 50,000 total. 2 crore 67 lakh 50,000. 2 crore 67 lakh 50,000. Yes or no? Yes, it is 2 crore 67 lakh 50,000. No. Check. I have my tax including surcharge under 10 crore 2 lakhs and I have a tax including surcharge under 10 crores. What is my difference in tax? What is my difference in tax? It is 13 lakh 6,000. It is 13 lakh 6,000. My difference in tax is 13 lakh 6,000. My difference in income is, how much was my original income? 10 crore 2. How much is my new income? 10 crore. My difference in income is 2 lakhs. Rahul, for earning extra 2 lakhs, they're asking me to pay extra 13 lakh 6,000. Will I pay extra 13 lakh 6,000? No, I will say I will surrender 2 lakhs. If I surrender 2 lakhs, I will get a relief of 11 lakh 6,000. Yes or no? If I surrender 2 lakhs, I'll get a relief of 11 lakh 6,000, which means my marginal relief on the top is 11 lakh 6,000. 11 lakh 6,000. Yes, get me the number. Two crore 69 lakh 50,000. 2 crore 69. Rahul, how to check this? How to check this? Very simple. Take the tax on the bottom, which is 2 crore 67 lakh 50,000. How much are you ready to give extra? 2 lakhs. Add 2 lakhs on that number, it will become 2 crore 6950. Match acha, which means number is right. Which means number is right. Now do you have the final numbers? Now do you have the final numbers? No, because you need to add cess. Add cess. Health and education cess at the rate of 4%. On the right side number is at the rate of 4%. On the right side number is 4%. Get me the numbers. 10,78,000. Huh? 78,000. Okay. 10,78,000. Right side. 9,69,936. Right side. 6,61,000. 320. 320. Okay. This is 936, right? Okay. Total the numbers. $25. 269 la. எந்த side பார்க்குற நீ? Either way is fine. What number you have? Two crore 80,28,000. Yes, right side number is 25,218,336. Rahul, can I leave it here? Rahul, can I leave it here? Can I leave it here? No, because you need to round off always 340. Always round off, people, don't forget. Right side 165,33,000 plus 661,320. 171,94,320. Rahul, do I have to round off? Do I have to round off? No, because already rounded off. Now tell me, will the person opt for normal regime, 115 BAA regime, or 115 BAB regime? He will opt for 115 BAB. He will opt for 115 BAB regime. Yes, sir. Yes. So what is this person's name? ABC Manufacturing. Conclusion will be ABC Manufacturing Company should opt for 115 BAB. Should opt for 115 BAB. Should opt for 115 BAB. Clear? Yes, yes. This is how your company looks like. This is how your company looks like. Any doubts? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes, Ritanya, any clarifications? Okay, perfect. Great. Moving forward is the next person called as cooperative society. Moving forward is the next person called as cooperative society. Does someone know what is a cooperative society first to start with? Any idea what is a cooperative society? Any idea what is a cooperative society? Cooperative society is basically a group of people who have come together to benefit each other. To benefit each other. In simple words, let's say for example, if you go to a apartment and all, okay, generally you will see this, no? There will be the apartments called as Gokuldham Cooperative Society, Cooperative Housing Society Mari. Basically what is happening is a group of people have come together, become members in that society where they are helping each other. Where they are helping each other. Now the question to you is very simple. The question to you is very simple. Let's say you live in an apartment. You live in an apartment. Apartment will collect something from you called as maintenance. Yes. This maintenance will be used for doing what? For building apartment infra, correct or not? Which is going to help you only. Which is going to help you only. Which means the money which you have given to the apartment is coming back to you in the form of benefits. Is coming back to you in the form of benefits. In that case, will you be liable? Will the apartment be liable for tax on that money which they are collecting from you? No. They will not be liable for tax on that money, because income tax comes and says this is called as a principle of mutuality. Principle of mutuality. Principle of mutuality means that one person cannot earn income from himself. One person cannot earn income from himself. The reason I'm giving this maintenance is because this maintenance is going to come back to me as a benefit. The maintenance is going to come back to me as a benefit. So these kind of items are not taxable. These kind of items are not taxable. I'll give you one other example. Let's say you are a farmer. You are a farmer. On your own, you are not able to do proper work. On your own, you are not able to do proper work because you were only into manufacture. You are only into getting milk. You are only into getting milk. You went to your friend. Friend is into making cheese. You went to another friend. That friend is into wheat. That friend is into wheat. You went to another friend. That person is making rice. That person is making rice. Now you are only able to make milk. For you, can you survive on milk? No. You need wheat. You need cheese also. You need rice also. He also cannot survive without milk. Yes or no? So what happened? You four came together. You four came together and you four decided that, boss, what we'll do is every day, whatever we produce, we'll split it among ourselves. So if I have produced 1 gallon of milk, 25% for you, 25% for you, 25% for you, 25% for me. If he makes 1 kg of butter, 250 grams for me, 250 grams for him, 250 grams for him, 250 grams for him. Yes or no? Technically, what am I doing? I'm doing barter system. But is this barter system giving me any kind of profit, or is this barter system helping me my livelihood? It is helping my livelihood, which means we all four have come together to help each other. This is called as cooperative society. In this case, can assessing officer come and say, Rahul, you gave 1 gallon of milk which is costing 10,000. He is giving you only 1 kg of butter which is costing 250 rupees. So therefore the difference is his income. No. He cannot say that, because you are not coming together with an intention to earn profits. You're not coming together with an intention to earn profits. You're coming together with an intention to benefit each other. That is called as concept of mutuality. Where Supreme Court has also given a decision which comes and says, if a cooperative society collects membership fees, what's the cooperative society doing? Collecting membership fees. If the cooperative society is coming and collecting membership fees, which is going to help the members only tomorrow, that cooperative society is not taxable. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Now, change the example. I am making 1 gallon of milk. Now, I am not giving 250 gallons to him, 250 to him, 250 to him, 250 to him. We have all decided that we'll do one thing. 100 he will keep, 100 he will keep, 100 he will keep, 100 he will keep. Balance is how much? 600. Balance is 600. This 600 we'll sell outside. We will sell outside and get money. Yes. Now the 600, are you doing business or are you doing benefit? You're doing business. In this case, are you earning profits? Not earning profits. You're earning profits. With this profits, should this profits be taxable? Not taxable. Should be taxable. That is what this concept is. You can also do this with your own members. Simple example. I am coming and saying, Rahul, 1 gallon of milk I have. Because I'm giving 1 gallon of milk, he will give me rice, he will give me wheat, he will give me butter. But instead of that happening, what I'm coming and saying, Rahul, 1 gallon of milk, I will sell it to you for 10 rupees. I will sell it to you for 10 rupees. Now, am I making profit? Not making profit. I am making profit, because I may have taken the milk only for 8 rupees, which means I made a profit of 2 rupees. Yes or no? Yes or no? Cooperative society will keep that gallon of milk. Now cooperative society has made a profit of 2. That profit is from members, I know, but is this benefiting the members or is it sale to members? It is sale to members. So that 2 rupees will become profit. That 2 rupees will have to be taxed. For that this is here. We will discuss the whole cooperative society once again when we do miscellaneous chapter. When you do miscellaneous chapter, that time we have this cooperative society once again. There is something called as assessment of other persons. Ange, we will come back to this. We'll come back to this. But just now the understanding is a cooperative society is a group of people who have come together to benefit each other. If they benefit only each other, then it is not taxable. If they try to make any kind of profit, then it is taxable. You may have heard this very fancy thing called as cooperative bank. Co-op bank, Nabad. Yes, these are all banks where basically what is happening, a group of people have come together and made a bank. Now this bank is going to give loan to the members, yes, but this bank is also giving loan to others. If it gives loans to members, is it taxable? No, because I am putting my money, I am getting my money. But if this bank is giving money to someone else, the bank will collect interest. That interest taxable, not taxable? Taxable. That is what this is. Yes. So what I am going to cover in this rates of taxes is those profits which are taxable profits. If it is not taxable profits, it will not come to the income statement itself. Yes or no? Yes. So I am only discussing about those topics which are taxable. Those profits which are taxable. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. Now Rahul, what is the provisions of cooperative society? Understand, cooperative society generally will make profits or generally will not make profits. Generally will not make profits, which means if it is making profit, is it really a cooperative society or is it more like a firm? It's more like a firm, which means will you like to collect more taxes or lesser taxes? I will like to collect more taxes. Provisions come and say, if you are a cooperative society making profits, for the first 10,000 rupees, how much? 10,000. Understand, there and all we were talking lakhs. Now it is only 10,000. For the first 10,000, rate is 10%. Rahul, first 10,000 it should be 0. No. First 10,000, 10%. Which means 0 to 10,000, 10%. Next 10,000. Next what thousand? Rate is 20. After that, balance rate will become 30. Okay, so they're saying for the 0 to 10,000 rupees, you pay me tax of 10%. For 10,000 to 20,000, you pay me tax of 20%. Anything beyond 20,000, you have to pay tax of 30%. Look at the slabs. No, it's very close. It's almost as good as you're telling everything is 30%. Yes, no, because 30,000 kamare 30% kudu kardu ni pesa mein everything you can make 30%. Yes, so it's a very close slab. It is called as first 10,000 10%, next 10,000 20%, balance 10,000 30%. This is what your slabs are. Yes or no? But what happened is, of late, cooperative societies also became very famous. People, instead of creating companies, started creating cooperative societies. And therefore what happened is, people went to government and they came and said, sir, if you are giving this regime concept for companies, we also want this regime concept for cooperatives. Therefore they introduced the same regime concept for cooperative also. They introduced the same regime concept for cooperative society also, with no difference. Copy paste of company. Section matto change aichu. We have done 115 BAA, BAB, BAC. This will be called as BAD. Where they are coming and saying, if you are a domestic, what are you? You are a domestic cooperative society. If you are a domestic cooperative society, your tax rate is 22%. Think about it. No, it is rather better for me to take 22% rather than have 10, 20 and 30. I could have might as well done 22%. Yes. Next is an amendment for the current year. Next is an amendment for the current year. People basically went to department and came and said, dear sir, you gave me 115 BAD at 22%, same as 115 BAA, same as 115 BAA. If you are giving so much benefits to manufacturing, give me also that benefit, and therefore in the current year they introduced 115 BAE, where they are coming and saying, if you are a domestic what? Manufacturing cooperative society. New. If you are a new domestic manufacturing cooperative society. Now what is new, we will discuss when we do the next chapter, but this is called as new domestic manufacturing cooperative society. They say the tax rate will now become 15%. The tax rate will now become 15%. So now you have 115 BAD for 22 and 115 BAE for 15%. 115 BAE for 15%. Now, I have given you the tax rates. Always after I give you tax rates, I ask you a simple question. Are you rich, poor, middle class? Can a cooperative society be poor? No. Can a cooperative society be middle class? Yes. Can it be rich? Yes. If you are rich, you will have surcharge. Rahul, what is the surcharge? Surcharge is same as domestic company. Surcharge is same as domestic company, which means if you are opting for normal regime, it is 0, 7 and 12. If you are opting for 115 BAD, it is 10. If you are opting for 115 BAE, it is 10. If you are opting for 115 BAE, it is 10. Same surcharge rates. Clear? Yes. Let's read from the book. It says, if you are a domestic company with a total turnover less than 400 crores in 21-22, it is 25%. Others, it is 30%. If you are opting for 115 BAA, it is 22%. If you are opting for 115 BAB, it is 15%. Rahul, in the book, I see something called as 22 and 30. Ignore it right now. When we do next chapter, we will discuss. Right now, it is only 15. Foreign company, it is 40. Surcharges are given as 0, 7 and 12, 10, 10 and 10. 0, 7 and 12, 10, 10 and 10. But if it's a foreign company, it is 0, 2 and 5. If you are a cooperative society, for the first 10,000, I have to pay 10%. For the next 10,000, I have to pay 20%. For the next 10 balance, I have to pay 30%. Surcharges will be same as domestic company, which is nil, 7 and 12, 10, 10 and 10. But you can choose for special regimes called as 22 or 15. Next line says health and education cess will be levied at the rate of 4% on all tax payable after considering your surcharge, after considering your relief, and before considering your rebate. Yes. This is your tax rates. Any doubts? No?
Rebate will not be available for companies.
Sorry, ma?
Rebate will not be there for companies.
Yeah, it is not for companies. I'm telling it's all associates. See, I've put it here generally. Okay, I've not covered health and education cess in my chapter anywhere else. I've covered it in a single shot because the rate is the same for everyone. Okay, so health and education cess is applicable as all assessees. If you have rebate, you can claim rebate. If you have surcharge, you put surcharge. If you have a marginal relief, you claim marginal relief. But cess is applicable after everything is done. Okay, yes. Next topic is marginal relief, which we have already discussed. Moves us to the next topic, which is a special regime. Special tax rates. We are a little out of time for today, so we will not do that today. We will do it tomorrow. But just to confirm the last thing, we are going back to my notes. We are in company. There is this one question which I had. if you notice, company, there is something called as domestic company and something called as foreign company. Yes or no? There is something called as domestic company and something called as foreign company. In domestic company, we came and said that your previous year turnover should be less than 400 crores for 21-22. For 21-22. There is this one question which came up to me. Okay, Rahul, my company itself was incorporated on 1st September 2022. 1st September 2022, which means, is the company alive in 21-22? Is the company alive in 21-22? No. Yes, 21-22 ended on 31st March. 21-22 ended on 31st March. I completely incorporated the company only on 1st September 2022. In that case, Rahul, what will be my tax rate? Will my tax rate be 25 or will my tax rate be 30? Will my tax rate be 25 or will my tax rate be 30? I obviously cannot check 22-23 turnover because return is still not filed. I can only check for 21-22. 21-22 company itself is not there. Company itself is not there. Will I take 25% or 30%? Anyone answer, ma? I will tell you the right answer. It's okay. Tell me the answer. 25 or 30? What do you think is right? What makes more sense? Bye. Okay, I'll ask you a question. Why do you think have they given this provision? Why do you think have they given this provision? Why do they think they have told you that if your turnover less than 400 crores, I want 25%? Hey, if your turnover is less than 400 crores, are you a big company or a small company? If your turnover is less than 400 crores, are you a big company or small company? You're a small company. Compared to the others, you're a small company. Yes, if you're a small company, will you have more finances in your hand or less finances in your hand? You'll have less finances in your hand, which means if I collect less taxes from you, I'm giving you more money to grow or I'm giving you less money to grow? I'm giving more money to grow. In simple words, can I come and say left side is startup company? Can I come and say left side, not startup exactly, but maybe MSME company or a small enterprise which means I am trying to promote small people. So that they can grow better. Now tell me, if your company itself is incorporated in 1st September, are you going to just like that start as Reliance or are you going to start as a small startup company? You're going to start as a small startup company, which means I should promote you more or I should promote you less? I should promote you more, which means I should give you 25 or 30? I should give you 25. This is the logic. However, ICI comes and says rate is 30. Why what not there? You will not even find it in a study material. One in MCQs. Somewhere randomly one day they put an MCQ where they came and said company was incorporated after 22 and they directly in the MCQ said tax rate is 30%. Why what? Never clarified. It is still not there in the study material. The reason I'm telling you this is because in case a question like this comes where your company is not even incorporated, for the first year tax rate will be 30% only as per ICI. Practical world it will not happen. Because think about it, no? You're telling me that for 21-22 turnover is not there, so 23-24 you're telling tax rate is 25. You're telling tax rate is 30. Now in 19-20, that is what? There is a difference between turnover being 0 and turnover being not applicable. Okay, just because the company is not there does not mean that the turnover is 0. It can also mean that the turnover is not there. If the turnover is not there, you will come and say it falls in others category. Yes, they are saying turnover should be less than or equal to 400 crores. I'm saying turnover itself is not there. They're saying okay, then go to 400 others category. But think about it, logic itself is defeated because you are now in September. Okay, you are telling for 23-24 tax rate is 30. But in September you started business. That year turnover will be more than 400 crores, less than 400 crores. It will be less than 400 crores, which means for assessment year 24-25, you are saying tax rate is 30. You're saying tax rate is 30. 25-26 tax rate will become 25 again. Can your tax rate come down? No. Your tax rate technically cannot come down unless and until business is very fluctuating. Tax rate will be constant. You can come from 25 to 30, but you can never come from 30 to 25, which means the logic itself is defeated. The logic itself is defeated, but this is ICA. This is ICA, so ICA has its own answers. ICA has its own answers. Until you qualify, tax rate will be 30 for the first year. Tax rate will be 30 for the first year. Then you can come and decide after you qualify that it is 25. You can come and decide it is 25. Right now the tax rate will be 30. Right now the tax rate will be 30. Clear? Clear? Yes, that is what you will read in my book. That is what you will read in my book. Somewhere I would have written it down. Somewhere I would have written it down here. As per illustrations issued by ICI, in case where the domestic company was incorporated after, please change this, no? This is not 1920, this is 2122. Okay, please change that. It is after previous year 2122. Okay, so as per the illustrations issued by ICI, in case where the domestic company was incorporated after previous year 2122, the tax rate shall be 30% and not 25. The tax rate shall be 30% and not 25%. Okay, yes, this has not been tested ever in exam is what I know. Okay, because I only know about the questions. I don't know about the MCQs. You know, no, in your exams when MCQs are given to you, booklet is taken back. So faculties never get to know what questions are tested in MCQ. So if at all this question would have come in MCQ also, I am not aware. I am not aware. It came as an illustration sometime back. It came as an illustration sometime back where they put it as 30%. So I am clarifying it to you right now. It may come in exam, it may not come in exam, but just be careful about it. Just be careful about it. Clear? Clear? Yes. We are done for today's class. Request to you, if you have not completed chapter number 1, please read it and come back. Chapter number 2 is done. Chapter number 2 is done except for the last topic. Except for the last topic, which is called as special tax rates. Special tax rates. This is for tomorrow's class. Okay. So I want you to complete and read the whole chapter and come again. Special tax rates alone you can ignore, and you can ignore this one table. This one table. Okay. These two things we will do tomorrow. These two things we will do tomorrow. Besides that, I want you to complete the whole chapter and come. I want you to complete the whole chapter and come. Tomorrow we will be completing chapter number 2 and we will be doing sums. We will be doing sums on the tax rates part. So please complete the whole chapter and come for tomorrow. Yeah. Yes.